So what do you think an electrical contractor is?
I think a contractor is lightning.
What do you think they do?
I think they zap anything that they don't want.
I know what Daddy does for work. He fixes wires, he builds houses, and he even makes lights turn on.
So electric contractors, they do electric things and they zap things into real life.
What do you think Daddy does?
Now Daddy fixes houses, and Daddy makes helps wires, and he even fixes lights. Bye-bye.
Do you think electrical contractors make lots of money?
No.
Once you decide that electrical is right for you, you need to go get a job. So go find a company, research them on the internet, find out what they do, what their installs are like, what projects they work on. Phone them up, say, hey, I'm interested in starting out my career as an electrician. What do you guys do? What would be interested in? And get started, get your resume together, find out if this is right for you, talk to a few people, find a company that seems to be the right fit, hopefully get a job with them. Then you get indentured and you go through your program, and every year you have 1,500 hours of on-the-job training, and then you go for 8 weeks of schooling, and you go through and you learn the principles and theories behind what you're doing out in the field. And then you go out and you do another 1,500 hours of practical learning and environment on the job site, and then you go back and you train again. So there's 4 years of training, and your last year of training is 12 weeks section of schooling, and then you become a journeyman. And once you're a journeyman for life. And so that's a very big skill to have in your back pocket, and to be able to step into any market anywhere in the world and say, I'm a journeyman electrician in Alberta. We've got great standards. I know all of this. I've got this experience, and you can really take your skills with you anywhere. Electrical is a very hands-on trade with a lot of varied work degree. So you can be in the cold, in the heat, all different temperatures, outside, inside, working with your hands, working with your mind. We do a lot of math, figuring things out, figuring out your circuitry, calculating pipe fills and bends and angles of pipes and all kinds of that stuff. It's really rewarding work. When you go to a project and you start off and there's nothing there, and you get to stay till this thing is now a full project done and ready to turn over to the client, you say, I did that. I drive around the city with my kids. Hey, Daddy was involved in that one. Daddy was involved in that one. I helped build that store. And we go through the stores and they're like, hey, my dad did this. It's really cool to have that, feeling of accomplishment from something that you've done. And it's very rewarding to be able to see the fruits of your labor come to fruition.
Past president Pat Barnes, who was, an outstanding role model for the ECAA, was involved back in 1996. He invited Jerry Heck to an evening, to a chapter meeting, and from there he introduced him to the RAP program, and that was really setting the foundation back 25 years ago. The ECAA is very excited to support careers. Again, we're based upon 300 members and associates that really understand and appreciate where we came from. And I think that's the secret ingredient to working with these young students at the open houses. I was working with the students in the community and the RAP programs to try and give back and give the best support we can to guide, coach, answer questions about, the importance of getting involved in what really it's given back to us and how we've raised our families. It's a very tight community, and it's a great fit with careers.
I have a standing privilege, an honor to be invited to a lot of ECAA chapter meetings. I don't know how many times I've stood up in front of the group and presented, but I try to go to almost every single chapter meeting that I can. And in my 8 or 9 years, I can tell you I've presented to more than 24,500 students. Since October of 2011, I've personally placed about 160 students with journeyman electricians here in the Calgary and surrounding area. But more importantly, Careers in Calgary has connected over 276 students to the electrical trade since 2011. And even more important than that, Careers provincially has helped connected more than 1,199 students as part of Careers programming with electricians in the province.
There's a program there working with our associates members, Keano College. They took us on an open house to a couple of the high schools up there where they had this young apprenticeship program started, looking at careers. So I remember going and visiting the students in their open shops. They were demonstrating what they've learned. They were very excited. It took me back to being a young apprentice and a young high school student trying to get into a field. I chose electrical, obviously, and this was electrical we were looking at. And it was pretty exciting to watch the enthusiasm and feel that again and understand what a great career it is and see that young people are trying to make a career path that, you know, time flies by. They were in high school, but it was important to see that they had a love already for the trades.
That the other thing about being a member of the Electrical Contractors Association is the opportunities to continue learning. And when you're part of this association, you're not only learning about what it means to be an electrician in this industry, you actually get the opportunity to learn what it means to be a professional electrical contractor in this industry. And that is worth a lot.
You know, falling in love with the trade and, you know, being very involved and being, you know, coached and mentored along the way when you had questions and mentored, it was very important. So as I gained that trust and that respect, I just grew into roles where, you know, we were looking to make things better all the time. How can we improve on the standards, on the process, on the efficiencies, you know, and that just kind of opened doors along the way to where I became a general manager of a, you know, very good sized company, and I appreciate that.
So about 2 months ago, I walked onto a construction site, and the site foreman, a second view, and a first view all came up to me to say hi and ask me how I'm doing. I was being polite, but what happened is that they told me that every single one of them began their career with RAP here in Calgary.
A lot of things about my job that I really enjoy, but I'd have to say the thing I enjoy the most about my job is different every day. So we get to be involved in the background of everybody's everyday life all the way through, and we're doing stuff from houses for people all the way up to hospitals and institutions, right into the manufacturing of things. It's really cool to have that, you know, feeling of accomplishment from something that you've done, and it's very rewarding to be able to see the fruits of your labor come to fruition.